Happy Friday, happy Good Friday, television family. We are here. It is Friday. I think we figured that out by now. 7th day of April, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz on a cloudy and cool and misty and foggy Friday morning. That front that came in yesterday morning gave us some light drizzle most of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Well, it wasn't moving particularly fast to begin with, and it's gotten slower. It's even slowed down than previous forecasts. Yesterday at this time we were hoping for a few sun breaks later on this afternoon. That's not going to happen, and the rain is going to kind of linger around a little bit longer. Originally they said it would be done by about 11 o'clock this morning. Light rain, light drizzle. Now they say it's going to be more like 3 before we're done with that. So complete forecast details are coming up. Outside of Saturday, we're in for a pretty long period of cool weather and some wet weather as well, and a pretty interesting weather phenomenon occurred yesterday. I'll get that information for you when we get to our cameras around the valley segment. It's 40 right now outside of our studios. We have some news to touch on. We always do. Sports, no Mariner highlights. They didn't play. They're on the road. They'll be in Cleveland. But the Kraken clinched a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They won. They beat Arizona. We'll have highlights of that and preview the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks, who start their third season tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center, so we'll have that in sports. And in the back half of the program, Jefferson Robbins had a chance to sit down with Congresswoman Dr. Kim Schreier from the 8th District, represents this area, of course. She was in Wenatchee on an agricultural listening tour at the Apple Commission headquarters out there in Old Station. And Jefferson, before the actual roundtable discussion, had a chance to sit down with the Congresswoman for about 10 minutes. We'll have that complete interview with Congresswoman Kim Schreier in the back half of the program. 2 minutes after the hour, let's proceed with the festivities, shall we? And we looked at the cross camera, and there it is. We've had the cross camera's been hit and miss this morning because sometimes a big cloud bank or a big thing of fog slides right in front of that lens. Right now, it's not too bad, but you can see how low the clouds are. And again, they're going to be hanging around all day today. So yesterday's high, 43 degrees. Our normal high is supposed to be 59. So our high temperature yesterday was, 16 degrees below normal. And our low temperature on Thursday was 36. But check this out. Our high temperature of 43 was not in the afternoon. It was at 12:18 in the morning is when we got to 43 degrees and never got warmer than that. And we bottomed out at 36 degrees at 3:14 in the morning. You heard me right. Our high and our low happened inside of 3 hours of each other. That doesn't happen too often. So it was not an afternoon high yesterday of 43. It was a middle of the night high of 43 degrees. And for 14 out of the last 15 days, our afternoon high temperature has been below normal. Pretty cool and raw day yesterday. Let's check out Cashmere if the camera is still up and running, and it is. That camera is on the ridge high above the Apple Andes Antique Mall, so we have a great view of almost all of Cashmere there. Gorgeous view there. You still see a few cloud banks and some low-hanging fog in pockets of Cashmere. And what's going on right now is what's going to happen pretty much all day today. We're not going to see any sun breaks. Sorry about that. And we still are not done with the rain event either. The Omi Garden camera is probably obscured, and it is. You can almost make out the Columbia River down there, and I can't quite see Rocky Reach Dam. That's pointed up the Columbia River towards Aniat and the Baker Flats industrial area. So we used that camera yesterday, and we could see everything was fine today. Not so much. Still a cool view. The Columbia River is down there. It hasn't gone anywhere. Trust me on that. And to the Lake Wenatchee camera we go. Yikes. It wasn't 3 minutes ago when you could see Lake Wenatchee, and now you can't from the Nanapoc Ridge camera. We have a time lapse that we have from that camera yesterday. It snowed in the Lake Wenatchee Coles Corner area yesterday. And if we have time before this show is over in the back half of the hour, we're going to show you that time lapse of the inclement weather up at Lake Wenatchee. That's going to put the opening of Kaler Glen a little bit farther out of reach. It'll eventually open, we hope. But boy, this April is shaping up like last April, which was the coldest, wettest April ever on record. Here is your rain shower forecast for today. Again, we're not going to get much, maybe 1/10 of an inch. This is going to be a steady drizzle, hit and miss throughout the course of the day. But look out in the Columbia Basin, that big yellow circle out there. There's enough instability in the air that later on this afternoon, there's not much of a chance, but there's enough chance, 10 to 20% chance, that they could see a pop-up thunderstorm late this afternoon into the early evening hours out in the Columbia Basin, wherever that big, down to the Tri-Cities, as well. So that could possibly, we're not going to have any thunderstorms. It doesn't look like it anyway, but it's possible out in the Columbia Basin. Most of the rain now is going to be up to the north of us. Omak is going to get about a half an inch of rain before the time this system rolls out. From the National Weather Service, in detail, your forecast looks something like this. Lots of clouds, lots of fog, intermittent rain off and on till about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll get up to 57 degrees. They tell us, and we were supposed to be warmer than what they predicted yesterday. We only got to 43. That was it. Clouds will be hanging around tonight. 36 for the overnight low. Catch a break on Saturday under partly sunny skies and dry conditions. We'll get up to 58 degrees. So drier conditions return on Saturday, and then another wet storm system arrives Sunday afternoon, just in time for Easter. We're going to cloud up. The deeper into the day we go on Easter Sunday, the better chance we have of rain, with a high of 59 degrees. Certainly rain in the forecast overnight Sunday into Monday. Showers are likely Sunday night into Monday, with a high Monday of 58. Rain begins to taper off a little bit Monday night. Temperatures a little milder, with an overnight low of around 39. Tuesday, sunshine returns with a high of 56, but all in all, until we get to maybe Wednesday of next week, we're going to have to deal with some pretty unstable weather, and the temperatures still. By the time we get to Monday of next week, our normal high temperature is going to go up to 60, and as you can see, that's not quite in the forecast yet. It's 7 minutes after the hour. Grab a cup of coffee and come right back. We'll have the news for you. You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
In the market for an RV? Do not buy any RV before you shop Click It RV. Because Click It RV has just acquired over 300 2022 fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and motorhomes. And everyone is just $199 over invoice. And take advantage of 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and low interest financing. Plus guaranteed lowest price and lifetime warranty. So don't miss the Click It RV Do Not Buy sale. Going on now at all 5 locations, including right here in Moses Lake.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
Nine minutes after the hour, it is cloudy, it is foggy, some intermittent drizzle here and there, 40 degrees, and that's what we're going to have all day today. Highs will be in the 50s, but the rain isn't going to taper off until probably late this afternoon. Sunshine Saturday, rain back on Sunday afternoon. 9 minutes after the hour, former Confluence Health employees have now filed a second lawsuit against the healthcare provider over its mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy. Of course, their first lawsuit was thrown out of court last month. The 91 plaintiffs, represented by former East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacy, filed suit on Wednesday in Douglas County Superior Court. They again claim that they were wrongfully discharged by Confluence for refusing to get a COVID-19 vaccination, which became a requirement for all employees in August of 2021. All 91 say their objections were based on religious beliefs, and 10 of them claim that they also had prior medical conditions which made the vaccine unsafe for them. As you probably remember, their previous lawsuit failed last month when Judge Brian Huber ruled that they had not laid out adequate grounds to sue their employer. Earthwork began yesterday on the big highway construction project, the roundabout at Highway 2 and Easy Street, just below Sunny Slope. The State Department of Transportation says the heavy work, which includes the closure of Easy Street around the intersection, that will commence tomorrow. Motorists can also expect to see detours, flagger-controlled traffic, and a temporary traffic circle at Euclid Avenue leading to the Otabashian Bridge on-ramp. Planners say once it's all done, the large roundabout should help relieve congestion and minimize serious accidents that are quite common in that intersection. Chelan County has earned a $328,000 grant from the federal government to address wildfire risks in the Stemilt and Squilchuck basins. The funding from the U.S. Forest Service will allow the county's Natural Resource Department to plan and execute about 400 acres of forest thinning in the fire-prone area over the next couple of years. The project is among 100 management programs across 22 states. They all got a community wildfire defense grant paid for under the bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed Congress in 2021. Leavenworth residents looking for the latest news on public projects, everything from sidewalk repairs to major building projects, can now find it on the City Tracker page, on the City Project Tracker, I should say. It's an information portal within Leavenworth City's website, cityofleavenworth.com. It aims to keep residents informed as far as planning and construction in and around the Bavarian Village. The Project Tracker currently includes information on Leavenworth projects such as the Pine Street Roundabout, improvements in the wastewater collection improvement system, and a feasibility study on a proposed new aquatic recreation center. Each page contains basic information and updates about a given project, as well as contact information. City planners say the portal will grow as more projects are added. 8th graders in the Wenatchee School District, some of them anyway, spent their spring break down on the farm to learn about sustainable practices and careers. Middle schoolers from Pioneer, Orchard, Foothills, and the Wenatchee Internet Academy visited the Lavender Ranch in East Wenatchee. They learned about composting, soil ecology, lavender farming, clean electricity generation, and vermiculture, that's also known as worm farming. They also took a tour of the Greater Wenatchee Area landfill. They got to tour the dump. The outing was part of the school's career and technical education program. That's where students get to explore career options and plan for their future. I should start doing that, planning for my future. I'm going to write that down. Plan for your future, Dan. That's what's making news at 13 minutes after the hour. Grant and Jefferson and Jordan and Mac and the whole crew will be gathering the news, disseminating the news, writing the news, and delivering the news. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, Uriah just got a text, I think, with a preview. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, a mixed bag of weather expected for our Easter weekend with rain again early next week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has high school sports results as well as a look at the Kraken and Mariners. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Appreciate it, Grant. If you got a news tip, you know what to do. Get a hold of us. Doesn't do us any good if you have a news tip and we don't know about it. Facebook page, email us, call us, go to our homepage. Get a hold of us if there's something out there that you think we should look into. When we come back, sports, the Seattle Kraken have punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It helps when you play Arizona. Highlights are next. You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today. 16 minutes after the hour, the Seattle Kraken are heading to the Stanley Cup playoffs in just their second year of existence, a clinching 4-2 win over Arizona. Last night, Jared McCann started the scoring at Climate Pledge Arena just before the end of the first period, his team leading 38th goal of the season. Vince Dunn and Jordan Eberle made it 3-0. The Coyotes did eventually score, but the home crowd went home real happy.
And here comes McCann. McCann is on it. Takes a look. No one there to connect with, so he'll put it low. Schmaltz is on it, taken away from him. Eberle right up front. Here's McCann, and he scores! Yanni Gore behind the net. Barrett Hayton checking him. Here's Dunn. Dunn takes the shot. Vimelka, behind him, and it's in! Oh! Mosier giving chase in his own end. Matty Beniers coming in. Nemeth is there now in front for Eberle. Lawson Krause will drop the puck back. Cross ice. There's a shot and he scores! Barrett Hayton with the goal. So much attention focused on him. McCann intercepts that pass and he turns it around. Eberle, here we go for Beniers. He scores! Well, that will silence the crowd a little bit, Cassie. They sure showed us, not those Coyotes. The horn will sound, and that will do it. The Seattle Kraken have sealed a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in franchise history. 4-2 the final over the Arizona Coyotes.
So, way to go, Kraken. They get to sleep in their own bed and turn right around and have another home game tomorrow night. They'll take on Chicago. You can watch that on Root Sports Northwest. Speaking of hockey, the Wenatchee Wild are in Cranbrook as we speak. They'll try to wrap up their playoff series with Game 5 tonight. Of course, they lost 3-1 in Game 1, and the Wild have reeled off 3 straight wins to lead the series 3-1. They have a chance to advance to the playoffs tonight at 7 o'clock. If the Bucks are able to win tonight, the series shifts back to the Town Toyota Center Sunday at 6. A Game 7, if necessary, would be back in Cranbrook. The Mariners are in Cleveland to begin the first of a weekend series this afternoon at 1:10. Following a rough opening at T-Mobile Park, Seattle lost 5 of 7 to the Guardians and the Angels. The Mariners are hoping to create a little road magic. Logan Gilbert will be on the mound this afternoon. The Guardians will go with Aaron Savale. The first RPI poll is out by the WIAA for state high school baseball teams. And 2 top 5 ranked teams met yesterday in Brewster. Meridian is ranked number 2 in the 1A RPI, while the Bears are ranked 3rd in the 2B RBI. And Brewster proved to be the better team Thursday in an 8-1 win. Meridian comes south today to take on Cascade in Peshastin at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Brewster, meanwhile, heads for Moses Lake to play Colfax at Big Bend Community College. Also on tap today, a couple of Big 9 clashes where Eastmont hosts Moses Lake in a doubleheader at 4. Wenatchee travels to Sunnyside for a couple of games. We're going to have our cameras and crew at Dan White Field in East Wenatchee this afternoon for the Wildcats and the Mavericks on the NCAA Live channel. Game 1 of the Twin Bill streaming live on our Facebook page at 4 o'clock. Eric Granstrom and Brandon Schmitten with the call. Game 2 is slated for 6 o'clock. The games will air on TV tomorrow night at 6:30. Lots of baseball doubleheaders scheduled for tomorrow. Quincy will visit Royal at 10. At 11 o'clock, you got Ephrata at Othello. Okanagan hosts Chelan. Brewster is at Tenasket. Omak will host Cascade. Cashmere plays at LaSalle. In the first of two games at noon, those are all doubleheaders. In the lone prep fast pitch softball game in our region yesterday, Mount Baker defeated Cashmere 8-1. Mount Baker heads west in the valley today. They'll play a doubleheader at Cascade beginning at noon. Sela, no trouble defending its home field in prep boys soccer action yesterday. They came out on top of Ephrata. The final was 6-0. Scheduled tonight in soccer, Eastmont's at home. They'll take on West Valley at 7 o'clock. Wenatchee is at Moses Lake. Saturday's soccer schedule, Omak is at Bridgeport at 11 a.m. At noon, you got Ephrata at East Valley of Spokane. A new season of professional indoor football starts tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center. That's the home of the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks, the team beginning their third season in the American West Football Conference. Last year, the Skyhawks made it all the way to the conference championship, and Coach Rico Brown has high aspirations for this year.
Championship or bust. 4-0, get to 4-0 so we can host this championship game here. That's where I have my eyes set on. I want to beat Oregon twice. I want to beat Idaho twice, and I want one of them to come back here. That's my goal. So, championship or bust. I want to hang up a banner in Toyota Town Center.
Brown is in his second year coaching the Seahawks. He's a native of Seattle, played football at Eastern Washington, played it well.
Eastern Washington's, I love it over here. Look at all this view. Look at this view. How could you not love it over here, right? So no, but I played at O'Day in high school and played for the great Monty Kohler. Got him his first title. Played at Central Washington. Was part of that 1995 team. I also work with the Seahawks. I also work with the Sea Dragons. So I get to see. I have the unique. It's unique because I get to see the background, behind it. And, I just, love the experience of it, and being able to watch a full game of a Seahawks game, watch the Sea Dragons and their growth, and actually just experiencing it and actually providing the experience for you guys as fans. So what I do behind the scenes, from recruiting, scouting, I just love the game.
Returning to the Skyhawks this year is linebacker Gabe Collins. He's 6'8" and 300 pounds. He's built a lot like me, and he's going to act as a player coach alongside his head coach.
When Gabe talks, everybody listens, and he's there. His presence is there. Quarterbacks know it too. An offensive line respect him. And last year, a lot of our voting came from the players. I got their opinions of who do you think did well, last year, and they all said Gabe. So I'm excited about having him back, and hopefully he stays healthy. He's going to help me with the defensive line and offensive line as well. I get a lot of feedback from him, and so it's great to have him back.
Their first season was in 2020. It went pretty well, then COVID, and now they're back. And the coach says, come on out and watch some football Saturday night.
The game starts at 7 o'clock. I want you guys in the parking lot at 5. Tailgate. You guys can go tailgate. You guys can go, just be there. You know what I'm saying? And just come and enjoy. And, you can find us on www.wvskyhawks.com. If you're on social media, Twitter, IG, Facebook, if you guys get tired of this, you guys come in for a little bit and come watch some football. All right?
He's enthusiastic. It's the Skyhawks and the Idaho Horsemen. Saturday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Tickets start at $13 a pop. You can get them at the Town Toyota Center box office. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 25 minutes after the hour. I could have chosen for the obscure holiday National Handmade Day. I chose not to. I could have chosen National No Housework Day. Not going to comment there. It's National Coffee Cake Day. It's National Walking Day. Wait a minute, didn't we already do that? Today's National Beer Day. Beer, because we celebrate kind of, sort of, half and half, the ending of Prohibition. Now, Prohibition wouldn't end completely until December of 1933, but in April of 1933, they amended it so you could drink beer. Yeah, it's called the Cullen-Harrison Act. It was signed into law by President Roosevelt on this date 90 years ago today, and after he signed the bill into law, allowing the consumption of beer and wine, Roosevelt said, what do you say we go out and have a beer? Fun facts about beer. In Iceland, Prohibition lasted from 1915 to 1989. Now, over the years, they gradually lifted Prohibition, except for beer. They didn't lift the Prohibition on beer in Iceland until 1989. That's when the ban on beer was ended, and now it's a big party they do in Iceland every year. At the Wife-Carrying World Championships, yes, there is such a thing as the Wife-Carrying World Championships, first place prize is the weight of your wife in beer. The top 5 states for beer consumption per capita. Number 5, South Dakota. Number 4, North Dakota. There's not a lot to do in the Dakotas. Number 3 in beer consumption per capita is Vermont. Number 2, Montana. Not a surprise there. And the number 1 state for beer consumption per capita is New Hampshire. So basically, the beer drinkers are in the upper Midwest and in New England. George Washington insisted that each member of his Continental Army be permitted 1 quart of beer per day as part of their rations. And a few suffer from sensicaophobia. Sensicaophobia is the fear of an empty glass. National Beer Day today. None for me. I'm working 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, on April 7th, 1862, in the midst of the Civil War, the 2-day Battle of Shiloh concluded. This was a brutal, nasty battle. The Confederates had Ulysses S. Grant's army on the ropes, but they also knew Grant had called for reinforcements and was hoping they would get there before the Confederates attacked. On day 1, the Confederates attacked in a surprise attack, and they won the battle in day 1. They tried to pursue Grant, but darkness came, so they stopped. And in the overnight hours, Grant's reinforcements, in fact, arrived. And the very next day, much to the surprise of the Confederates, the Union forces counter-attacked and drove the Confederates out, and the Confederates eventually fled south. It was a Union victory, so to speak, although Grant was heavily criticized because of all the casualties. The casualty numbers, you look back with incredulity. The Battle of Shiloh had more casualties in the 2 days than all of the casualties of the American Revolution, the War of 1812, and the Mexican-American War combined. Those 3 wars combined, and they had more casualties at the Battle of Shiloh in those 2 days. It was a bloodbath, and it concluded on this date 161 years ago today. And we already mentioned this. This is the 90th anniversary of Drink It Up, baby. Prohibition in the United States partially repealed with the pass of that act I talked about. The beer could be no more than 3.2% alcohol by weight. The 21st Amendment would eventually get rid of all of that 8 months later. That's why it's National Beer Day. You can now have a beer after 16 years. Most people did anyway, and Prohibition didn't work. We know that. 29 minutes after there, a lot of birthdays. We'll start out with some heavenly birthdays. That man, Walter Camp, the father of American football. All the significant things that we associate with American football came from that guy's brain, including the line of scrimmage. You get 4 downs to get a first down, 11 men per side. This actual layout of the football field. How long is it? How wide is it? Walter Camp came up with all of that. And he was the first person ever to be paid to coach football. Yale hired him at a full-time salary. Now, Yale, the folks in Yale didn't like that. They said it's all supposed to be all amateur, including the coaches. And they said, no, if you're going to have a successful team, you need to have a coach, and you need to pay the coach. Walter Camp, born in the state in 1859. Legendary manager John McGraw, 31 years, is the manager of the New York Giants. He won 10 pennants and 3 world championships. He was the man who developed the hit and run and the squeeze play. Tried in vain to integrate the National League during his time. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1937. A lot of people, baseball experts, still consider him perhaps the greatest manager ever. John McGraw, born in the state in 1873. Lady Day, Billie Holiday. Ironically enough, I was listening to Billie Holiday about 4 days ago. not knowing that the anniversary of her birthday was coming up. Lady Day, Billie Holiday, perhaps one of the greatest, well, she's certainly in the top 5 female singers ever. Born in the state in 1915. Didn't live very long. Most jazz musicians didn't back in the day. Died at the age of 44. 2 more heavenly birthdays. James Gardner. The Rockford Files is one of my favorite. Just a great show. Love the Rockford Files. Brett Maverick, of course, the greatest. He was in movies, The Great Escape, Murphy's Romance, had an Academy Award nomination. The Americanization of Emily is a great movie. The late, great James Gardner, born in the state in 1928. And Wade Rogers played Trapper John McIntyre on the television show MASH. After he'd left acting in the mid-1980s, he became an investment analyst. He became an investor, a strategist, an advisor, and a money manager for some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Told them how to make a lot of money, how to take the money that they already made and make it even bigger. He was well known for that. Wade Rogers, born in the state in 1933. One of my favorite directors and screenwriters and producers, Francis Ford Coppola. I think I've seen every movie he's ever done. I wouldn't be surprised. He's 84 years old. Co-wrote Patton, won the Academy Award for that. The Godfather, all 3 of the Godfather movies. The Conversation, Apocalypse Now, The Rainmaker. Francis Ford Coppola is 84 years old today. Russell Crowe was 59. I really liked The Insider. I thought that was a pretty good movie, and I liked A Beautiful Mind. Not a big fan of The Gladiator, for whatever reason. Russell Crowe is 59 years old today. And I, of course, as you know by now, I spend most of my weekends binge watching Mongolian sumo wrestling, and so I want to wish my favorite sumo wrestler from Mongolia, Inchichocho Takasaki, a happy 30th birthday today. Go get him, Incho. I'm a weirdo. 32 minutes after the hour. Gonna take a break. Got an opinion from Mad Dog McNaughty. Then we have Jefferson Robbins and his sit-down conversation with Dr. Kim Schreier, Congresswoman from the 8th District, and a really cool time-lapse video that our very own Uriah Darby took yesterday up at Lake Wenatchee. It's all coming up. You're watching the Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
As a speech-language pathologist assistant at North Central ESD, I saw the need for Spanish-speaking services in our region. The ESD has supported me throughout my career, allowing me to continue making an impact on the lives of young children and their families. My job is more than providing early intervention services to children in Grant County. Every day, I feel like I am enhancing the skills and the lives of the families I support because of the relationships we create.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Ever wonder how wine gets from grape to glass? Chelan Ridge Winery is one of the largest wine production facilities in the valley and is now offering tours from grape to glass. Come on up and see how platinum-level wines are made and then taste them for yourself.
Behind this door is one of Wenatchee's best-kept secrets. Behind this door, you'll find things you can't find anywhere else. Behind this door is the new upgraded River House Cigar Bar. More of everything you've come to love. The secret's out, and the door is open.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, a definition of prejudice is a feeling towards a person based on their perceived group membership. Prejudice is often used to refer to preconceived, usually unfavorable evaluations of another person based on that person's political affiliation, sex, gender, race, etc. So, is being prejudiced okay? I don't know! Well, it seems like it. I'm seeing people, as you are, who are actively accusing others and actively condemning others for being prejudiced, while they're actively practicing prejudice themselves against the people who they claim are prejudiced. Now, you can dislike me because you don't like my opinions, and you can dislike me for a lot of other reasons. Is it then okay to categorize others and dislike them just because, like me, they are white male Christians? Well, it must be okay because people do it all the time. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally.
How so?
And that's my opinion.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him.
So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic. Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise. I don't even know how to start a conversation with him. This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family. Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
Jefferson Robbins with the NCW Life channel. Our Congresswoman for the 8th District, Kim Schreier, occasionally drops in to speak with us. We're back with her for the first time since the 2022 elections. Dr. Schreier, welcome.
Thank you, Jefferson. It's great to be back.
You're back in Wenatchee for Farm Bill business. This is the every 5-year reauthorization of the major piece of legislation. And when people hear Farm Bill, they might not necessarily think, well, it's got many dimensions to it, but it does. Can you sort of explain what goes into this legislation?
Yeah, I mean, I was not in Congress for the last Farm Bill authorization, but it happens every 5 years. It is a big bill that must pass, and it covers everything from food stamps or the SNAP program to conservation programs to foreign market access and trade to crop insurance to forestry to other programs that support our farmers, research and research institutions. So it is a big bill, and when I think about the 8th District, every bit of it pertains here, except perhaps subsidies for corn and soy. But I will be there shouting about needing support for specialty crops.
Our district is a farm district and a forest district, so all these things pertain to us.
That's right.
What are some local producers telling you? You're here for listening sessions to talk with folks who are involved in the agriculture industry. So what are local folks telling you that they'd like to see in this farm bill? What's important to maintain? What would they like to see changed?
So we're about to have a listening session, but since I meet with farmers, researchers, and hunger groups on a regular basis, I already anticipate some of the topics that will come up. One of them is, of course, that we're choking on smoke every single summer, and the summers are getting longer. And so forest health, forestry, resilient forests should be part of today's discussion. We've already done a lot of work there, but there's more to do. I know that research will be discussed, either as SCRI, the Specialty Crop Research Initiative, Specialty Crop Research Grants, and the need for better infrastructure, including right here in Wenatchee, where some of the buildings are from the 1950s and 60s. And if we want world-class research, we need world-class facilities. Conservation programs are oversubscribed. Farmers love them. Crop insurance will come up. H-2A worker issues will come up. And of course, all of the hunger programs. When 1 out of 6 children in this country is in a food insecure home, I expect to hear plenty about that as well.
Well, you bring up hunger, and the Farm Bill does deal with hunger in the form of the SNAP program, what we think of as food stamps. There's at least one Republican suggestion that we change the requirements for working while receiving food stamps, while receiving SNAP benefits, that your age limit to continue to prove that you're working go from 48 to 65, essentially asking older folks to work longer to receive those benefits. Where do you come down on a proposal like that, Kim?
So I think fundamentally, we want to make sure that our food programs are used responsibly. We also all want to make sure that nobody is, for example, taking advantage of a food program. But here's what I can tell you. There's less than 1% fraud in this program. The program provides about $1.45 per meal. It is hardly a generous program. And the concept of an able-bodied adult without children probably needs some massaging and nuance, such that if you are in seasonal work and there is simply no work in a particular season, you can still get food to make ends meet. If you're a full-time student and you're not working, you should still have access to nutrition. If you're a grandparent who is taking care of grandchildren, even though you might be considered an individual, there are obligations to meet there. And there are some people who are considered able-bodied, but they may not be completely able to work and also may not live in a place where there's jobs available. So I think we have to infuse a reality check with the real desire for everybody to see that everybody's got a little skin in the game and is doing their best part. And maybe we could have job training together with SNAP benefits.
When you came into Congress in 2019, part of the new Democrat majority, you voiced a wish to be in agriculture, on the Agriculture Committee, sure, represent the agricultural interests of your district. When the majority shifted this past election, that seat wasn't there for you anymore. Was that a disappointment to you?
It was definitely a disappointment, and for me to be on that committee requires a special waiver that I was not able to get this year. But here's the thing. I have established great relationships with my Republican colleagues in the committee, with my Democratic colleagues in the committee, with committee staff, and have enough partnerships there that I'll be able to work from outside of the committee to get our priorities in the Farm Bill. And I'm heading up the New Dems task force and the SEEK task force on the Farm Bill. So I will be deeply involved in this process.
So you're representing your caucus on farm issues, and we still have a Washington Congress member, Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez, on that committee.
That's right. And I'll be working with her. In fact, one of the staffers for my team now works in her office. So there will be a lot of overlap there, and I'll be getting her up to speed as much as possible so we can partner on issues that matter to her district and to my district.
Now, having worked 2 terms as a member of the majority party, what are your impressions now of the way things are working or not working under a different majority running the House of Representatives?
You know, I'm still adjusting to this difference. But I'll tell you, one of the things that's very gratifying, and I didn't know for sure that this would happen, is that I spent the last 4 years really nurturing relationships, making sure that my bills were bipartisan, that we were working together, Democrats and Republicans, on issues. And those relationships are proving to be very helpful now with me in the minority to be able to go to my Republican colleagues, for example, to be able to have local farmers get their produce to local food banks as part of the TFAP program. It's a bipartisan bill, and I think we're going to get that provision in the Farm Bill because of that relationship.
Sort of an open-ended question to close us out, Kim. Other items that are on your docket for this session of Congress, projects of yours that, whether you're able to get them across the finish line or not, you want to keep working on.
Yeah. One is that I still want to do everything I can to bring down the cost of prescription drugs. And we had big successes there by making vaccines free for seniors, like the shingles vaccine, by bringing insulin to $35 a month, for seniors. But we have farther to go for the rest of us. Another area that's a particular passion for me as a pediatrician and a mom is the effect that social media is having on our kids, on their mental health, their attention span, their relationships. And I am seeing that Chairwoman McMorris-Rogers has that same concern. And so I'm hoping that in our Energy and Commerce Committee, we can devote some resources and real energy to holding social media companies accountable for their algorithms that get our kids hooked and are wreaking havoc with their mental health. And then I think that the third big issue that I can see coming down the line where I see opportunities for bipartisanship is that we just passed the biggest investment ever in clean energy and climate. But in order to site a modernized electric grid, in order to site wind and solar and modular nuclear, we're going to need a streamlined permitting process. A permitting process that respects environmental protections, but that also has a time limit so that we can actually get these projects going, or it's not going to do a bit of good for our climate. And so those are some great opportunities to work together.
You mentioned vaccines, and we're, I suppose on the outside edge of this pandemic, but the federal authorization for keeping COVID-19 vaccines free, or at least affordable, going to expire with a lot of other things, with a lot of other pandemic spending. Is there a way we can keep the COVID shot a 6-month every year availability that is reasonable for most people?
We sure can. The way I look at this, Jefferson, is that now COVID is a lot like all the other communicable diseases we deal with, like the flu, for example. And what's happening now is that insurance companies will be required to cover the COVID vaccine. It will be covered through Medicaid and Medicare. And remember, Medicare vaccines are now free. And it'll be in the community, in the federally qualified health centers. So people will have access to it in an affordable way, or in many cases free. And I think this is just kind of realigning where COVID is right now at this point in our lives.
Well, Congresswoman Kim Schreier with the 8th District, you've got a meeting to get to, and we're grateful for the time you're able to give us.
Thank you, Jefferson.
You're watching the NCW Life channel.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
By working together as a community, we can all play a part in promoting children's well-being and strengthening families. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Chelanne Douglas CASA is dedicated to supporting families and reducing the risk of child abuse and neglect. Join us in our community-wide Pinwheel project and help keep kids safe. If you suspect a child is being abused or neglected, please call 1-866-363-4276.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at MerryMaidsOfWenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Hi, I'm Chuck Dronan, Managing Member at Eplodolin Retirement and Assisted Living. It's been a tough year for all of us, but especially for those working and living in senior care facilities. Over the course of these many difficult months, our staff at Eplodolin has been vigilant in adhering to federal and state guidelines to protect and assure the safety of our residents and their caregivers. If you're in need of assisted living for a loved one, give us a call at Eplodolin. We're here for you.
52 minutes after the hour, the clouds are still hanging around. They're thinning out a little bit, but not very much. We're going to give you your complete forecast details for this Easter holiday weekend on this Good Friday. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes, but it's a little on the springy side. But we have a couple of minutes, and I wanted to do another time-lapse video that our top content producer, Uriah Darby, put together. It was rather inclement weather up in the Lake Wenatchee area yesterday. You're going to see that. This is the camera that's high atop Nanapoc Ridge that points right down to Lake Wenatchee with the Kaler Glen Golf Course. And Uriah fired up the old PTZ camera. Those things are so awesome. And put the video right in the frame where he wanted to and hit record and walked away. And this morning he put it all together. Here's about a 1-minute time lapse of what happened up in Lake Wenatchee on Thursday. Pretty spectacular stuff. Good work from Uriah. And by the way, he also conducted the orchestra. He's a multi-talent. He's a Renaissance guy, multi-talented guy. 41 degrees in the big city. One more break, and then that all-important Easter weekend updated forecast is on the way. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Merry Maids. Attention all birders and potential ornithologists. The next Beginning Bird Walk, hosted by the Wenatchee River Institute, is Wednesday, April 12th from 8 to 9:30. 4 15-minute stationary bird counts of the local wild birds will be held. The total walking distance is just half a mile. Binoculars will be provided for those without, and no registration is required. Log on to WenatcheeRiverInstitute.org for more information.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
All right, back at it on this Good Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The weather forecast has changed just a little bit from when we visited on Thursday. Thursday was a strange day. Our high temperature yesterday, 43 degrees, 16 degrees below normal for Thursday. And not only was our high only 43 degrees, but it happened 15 minutes after midnight. 15 minutes after midnight was our high temperature yesterday. Now, it's going to be warmer today, but here's the deal. That frontal system that's moving through the area was moving pretty slow to begin with. It's slowed even further down. They were saying the rain would be done, the light rain, it's no big deluge, but the light drizzle that we've been experiencing would be done by about 11 o'clock noon at the latest, and then we'd see maybe a few sun breaks later on this afternoon. No, now they say we're going to have some light drizzle into the afternoon hours, and unfortunately, no sun breaks. I wanted to show you this slide from the National Weather Service. This is projected precipitation total. As you can see, not much in the Wenatchee Valley. Omac's going to get a pretty good dose, maybe up to half an inch of rain. That's a lot of rain also in the Mid-Ohio Valley. But take a look at out in the Columbia Basin. There is the possibility with the instability in the air, and this is the time of the year where it's really challenging for the National Weather Service to do the forecasting. April is always the hardest month, they'll tell you that. There's about a 10 to 20% chance of a pop-up thunderstorm late this afternoon into the early evening hours, say around 6:30, 7:30. In the area circled in yellow, which is a pretty good swath of the Columbia Basin, both the upper and lower part of the basin, with Moses Lake right in the middle of that target. So you folks out of the basin, we have some viewers out there. Be forewarned, you could actually get a thunderstorm. It's not a big chance, but it's enough to warrant your attention anyway. We wanted to point that out. In any event, from the National Weather Service, the rain will continue, light rain, drizzle off and on, hit and miss until about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then a slight chance of some light rain after 3 o'clock this afternoon. They tell us we'll get up to 57 degrees. We're 41 right now. 80% chance of rain for the balance of the day today. Cloudy tonight, 36 for the overnight low. Partly sunny Saturday. Not bad at all. So dry and sunny, still pretty close to normal. Saturday's looking like the day to be out and about because the clouds will roll back in on Saturday night. We'll get down to 40. Sunday is a mixed bag. It's a 50-50 kind of deal. On Sunday morning, we'll be dry, although fairly cloudy, and then as we get deeper and deeper into Easter Sunday, the chance of rain increases as another storm system arrives Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. So the chance of rain increases as Sunday progresses. We'll top off at 59, and then we're definitely going to get some rain Sunday night into Monday. In fact, rain overnight Sunday night and pretty much hit and miss showers like we have today all day Monday into Monday night before we dry out on Tuesday. Have a good holiday weekend. Start your next week with us. Until then, bye-bye.